I'm Christy and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with 10 books I want to read before the end of the year. Alright, so we are now just about midway through November, and so I thought this would be the perfect time to talk about the 10 books I want to read before the end of the year. These are the 10 books at the top of my priority list. Some of these are new releases that I just haven't gotten to that came out earlier in the year. Some of these are like upcoming late November into December reads that I'm definitely going to be getting to before the end of the year. And so yeah, I thought this would be a fun one to do. I did end up doing this video last year. I think I started at like the end of November into early December, and so I didn't get to all 10 books before the end of the year because I was kind of pushing it there, but I did end up getting it to all of them. There were 3 on the list that I actually DNF'd, but the rest I read, got to them all, and so this year I have higher hopes because I'm starting a little bit earlier, as well as I'm not like branching out too much. Like these are definitely on my TBR to get to, so I'm so excited. So let's get into these. I'm going to, of course, link every book that I'm talking about below, so if you want to go grab them for yourself as well, or if you want to pre-order, because like I mentioned, some of these are coming out in end of November, early December. They're listed with the book title and the author, so definitely check out the description of the video. Let's get into these. So no surprise to anybody, I want to get back to my queen, Judith McNaught. I have been obsessed with her historical romances this year. So many of them are going to be on my favorite books of the year. I'm just obsessed with her writing. I love her books. They work for me so well. So Almost Heaven is book 3 in her sequels series, which is the series that I am caught up on and currently reading. So I have been kind of leaving this one off for a while because I know it's a ton of people's favorites, as well as I just don't have too many of her books left to read. So I want to savor them, but Almost Heaven I definitely want to get to before the end of the year. So here's this very pretty cover. My copy is actually very beat up, but I do not care. I absolutely love Judith McNaught. I love having all of her editions on my shelves. So this, of course, is a historical romance. I honestly don't know too much about it. It says the heroine here is a countess, and the hero is a dangerously handsome man of secret wealth and mysterious lineage. Ooh. The voyage to the heroine's heart was fraught with intrigue, scandal, and a venomous jealousy. Okay, hold on. From London's salons to Scotland's highlands. Ooh, okay, I'm very excited. A dramatic romance between 2 lovers destined for each other and for love's wildest abandon. Okay, I'm so excited. You know I love Judith McNaught. I cannot wait to get into this one. All right, speaking of historical romances, I have another one that I want to get to. So this is Claiming the Princess by Cherish Michaels. This one actually just came out in October, so it's still on my TBR to get to. I love Cherish Michaels' historical romances. I feel like they're just like cozy and fun and sweet, and so I'm just kind of in the mood for those right now. So this is Claiming the Princess. This is the, I think the 3rd book in her Hidden Royals series. Could be wrong on the series name, but I am excited to get to it because I really enjoyed the previous book in the series. So this one says there is a naval captain, arranged marriage, princess in hiding, hidden identity, age gap, and revenge as well. So very excited to get to this one. I love Cherish Michaels' historical romances. All right, and then one that I have been meaning to get to all year. This one came out in February, I want to say. Yes, I have an ARC copy of it and I have yet to get to it. So this is The Charlie Method by Elle Kennedy. This is, I think, is this book 3 now in her Campus Diaries series? This is like a spin-off, kind of second generation or a new generation of characters, and so this one I haven't been meaning to get to all year, so I definitely want to make it a priority before the end of the year. This is, I think it's MFM if I'm remembering correctly, which the publisher did send me this really pretty art print when they sent me the ARC copy. So this says it's an MFM romance, spicy texting, secret dating, golden retriever with a dirty mouth, sorority girl with a secret, college, hockey, and a playboy with a heart of gold. So MFM. So I'm intrigued. I did end up putting this one off because I had heard kind of like mixed reviews when it was first coming out, so I am anxiously excited to get to it. I loved the first 2 books in the series. I've been reading Elle Kennedy for years, so I definitely want to get to it before the end of the year. All right, switching gears, we have some alien romances. So first up is Korvax Challenge by Ruby Dixon. This is book 4 in her current Ice Planet Clones series. So this is kind of a spin-off from her Ice Planet Barbarians and her Ice Home and kind of all of the ice-related alien romance series that I've read, and so this series I've really enjoyed. This is just the newest release that came out this year. I like waiting until they come out on audio, and so I believe this one's coming out on audio soon, and so this is the 4th book. Can't wait to get to it. It's always like a human pairing / their clones, as well as with his like alien heroes. This series has been super fun. I've really enjoyed it. It has a lot of connections to, like I mentioned, her other series as well. So this is book 4. I can't wait to get to it. All right, then another new release for alien sci-fi romances that came out this year is Hunger in His Blood by Zoe Draven. This is the 3rd book in her Brides of Kylor series, and this is a series that I really enjoyed. The heroes in here are more like alien, berserker, kind of barbarian style. Like there's some vampirism in them, all sorts of things kind of mixed into these heroes. So I am very excited to get to this one because I have enjoyed this series, and so this is just the newest book that I need to get to. I think this one I was also waiting for audio, so I'll have to check if the audio is coming out anytime soon, but if not, I want to kind of get to it on my KU before the end of the year. Switching over to fantasy romances, we have The Wrath of the Fallen by Amber V. Nicole. So this one just came out the very end of October, and this is book 4 in her Gods and Monsters, a fantasy romance series. This is a series that I've absolutely loved. If you want like morally gray characters, like the hero, the heroine, everybody's morally gray. There's like gods and celestials and this kind of like really interesting world happening. You definitely have to read the series in order. So start with the Book of Azrael if you have not yet. And I'm just so excited to get to book 4 because it just came out. So definitely need to get to it before the end of the year. This book as well I need to get to because it's also the last book on my own list where I did like 5-star predictions for myself for the year. So this is the last one that I need to read so I can then recap that video for you guys as well. So very excited to get to this one. I have really high hopes. All right, and then some more fantasy romance. So I'm actually going to be rereading Quicksilver by Callie Hart. This is the new edition, which I actually really enjoy. I think it's really pretty. So I am excited to reread this one. This is one of my favorite books of last year. Have very high hopes because the second book, Brimstone, comes out in just a week from now. And so I'm very excited. So I want to reread Quicksilver to get back in that mindset, get back into this world, and then jump into Brimstone, which is also on my 10 before the end. So this one comes out on November 18th, I want to say. Very excited to get to this one as well. It's book 2 of this fantasy romance series, a continuation of the characters, and I cannot wait. All right, switching gears over to some new releases in December. So we have In a Heartbeat by Laura Pavlov. This one comes out, I think, December 16th. This one says it's a childhood friends to enemies to lovers, which is one of my all-time favorite micro tropes. We have a forbidden romance, western cowboy vibes, and forced proximity. This is book 5 in her current small town Rosewood River series that I have been enjoying. I really liked the last book, book 4, so I'm very excited to get into book 5. Love this found family series, and Laura Pavlov always does a small town really well, and if she blends in like emotional elements, especially like childhood friends to lovers, I'm very excited because I love all of those things, so I cannot wait. All right, and then my last on my 10 before the end is Duke by Jessica Peterson. I was sent this ARC copy and I cannot wait to dive into it. This is a series that I absolutely love. This is like a cowboy kind of western small town. Love the family in this series as well. This one was sent with really cute art from the publisher. As you can tell, this is like a surprise pregnancy romance. So I'm very intrigued. This one comes out at the beginning of December. It comes out on December 2nd. It says Snowden cabin vibes, surprise pregnancy, independent black cat entrepreneur heroine, and a down bad golden retriever cowboy, all the banter. Out on December 2nd. This is her 4th book in her Lucky River Ranch series. I've loved the whole series, and so very excited to get to this hero's story as well. So those are my 10 that I want to get to before the end of the year. I do have like an honorable mention, which this one is if I'm in the mood or feeling like picking it up, because I don't want to force myself to read it at the same time. And I do have a lot of fantasy on here. So if I get out of the mood of fantasy for a bit, I want to save this one until next year, but I possibly will get to it in December. Like, I'm very much mood driven, so we shall see. But this is The Second Death of Locke by VL Bolivellino. I'm very excited to check this one out. The cover is stunning. I've heard amazing things, and it's one that I definitely want to like savor and appreciate. So I don't want to force myself to get to it. So if I'm not in the mood before the end of the year, it won't be on my TBR. Otherwise, if I feel in the mood to pick it up, I will. So this one's like an honorable mention. All right, so those are all 10 books at the top of my TBR, my priority list before the end of the year. Definitely let me know in the comments if you've read any of these. If you have any like 10 books you want to get to before the end of the year, I would love to know. Leave them in the comments. Like I mentioned, you can go check out, grab any of these books. They're all going to be linked in the description of the video. And if you would rather leave me an emoji in today's comments to let me know that you watched this video, leave me like a cowboy hat. The cowboy emoji, since we have Duke with the Western cowboy vibes. So do that. Leave me like the cowboy hat emoji. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye!